through it. Bongino, basically everyone there, also enormous amounts of money. PBD podcast, again, whatever. Charlie Kirk, TPUSA, he's literally been on stage with Trump a million times. Benny Johnson, likewise, direct connections. Asmongold, I think, is kind of on his own, but, you know, he clearly doesn't need the help. Likewise with all of them. How many official Democrat, like, connections does Hassan have? And I know what some of you might be saying. Some of you might be saying, okay, well, to be fair, like, how can you expect them to directly connect when Hassan is always shit-talking the Democrats? I'm going to put out something a little crazy. Maybe give him less to shit-talk you over? The right wing constantly kowtows to its populist base. The Republican Party, they constantly cede ground so online neo-Nazi freaks have something to enjoy in their party. The Democrats don't budge a inch. The State Department is still... Just yesterday, the State Department was saying, what country has done more to help the people of Gaza than us? Are you insane? No wonder alt media isn't covering the Democrats positive. What are you giving them? You don't work with them. You don't bend to them. You don't give them any well, then congratulations. Like, Democrats almost exclusively break news on mainstream media. Like anyone's watching NBC anymore. Democrats break their news. They do their interviews with. They barely engage with alt media. So alt media on the left-hand side is starved. I'm one of the biggest figures in like alt left-leaning media, and I am like insanely unprofessional. Hassan is the largest, and he is also, by the standards of this space, relatively unprofessional. That's not a dig. You know, I think it's better that way. But meanwhile, you have these like highly organized suit and tie alt Republicans who are just like neo-Nazis getting like quiet funding. It's just another component of the brain rot of liberalism. The belief in institution, no matter what evidence is provided against it. The belief that because, like, 50 years ago, CNN was the most trusted name in news, it must still be. The idea that the best way to win over in an era where no one trusts establishment media, young people barely vote, and when they do, they're apparently turning out, like, almost 50-50 for Trump, that the best way to, like, to win out is to completely shaft alternative media and just exclusively pay attention to a consultant class of pundits and broadcasters who are ultimately beholden to their billionaire masters. Right-wing marketers knew this and pumped money. Yep. Yorp. Surely this time they learned something. Yeah. Republicans celebrate by admitting they can't wait for Project 2025. Yeah. Another lesson liberals could stand to learn, though they'll probably only apply it like when it comes to their treatment of Israel. You can lie. You know, just like a little rhetorical secret there. The only time the Democrats have ever felt comfortable lying is when they're telling us what Israel wants to do with the Palestinians. That's literally it. And even then they can't sell it. Yeah, they're pretty bad at it too. Look, again, it's not that I'm being salty about like where the money's going or anything, but like how can you look at this and not understand where the problem is, right? Like, come on. You know? Doesn't lying work because Republican voters are stupid? Everyone's stupid. Why aren't you on there? Yeah, I'm sorry. Vosh talked to Marianne Williamson, didn't he? Truly, I am in the halls of power with that one. All right, but how do we combat infinity money when no one the left funds? I point you again, if I may, to the Bernie Sanders fundraising map. You know what matters even more than money? Popularity. And it's a lot easier to sell the message of, you know, I want free healthcare and unicorns and cupcakes for everyone, than I am Hitler, I am Adolf Hitler, I want worse things for everyone. So we have a kind of natural bias in our favor, but it doesn't matter if the Democrats squash every genuine effort at pushing like a popular narrative. And how the f*** are Democrats going to get anyone interested in like populist messaging on board when they can't even tell the truth about Israel? It's insane. Like, Democrats conceded so much ground to Netanyahu only for him to be jerking himself off on Twitter once Trump won. You think anything changed? What difference did it all make? What difference? What was the point? What was the point of shifting right on the border? Everyone who voted based on the border voted Trump. No one voted based on their fear of like immigration being an issue for Kamala Harris. Do you think if leftists came out loud and mad against the deportation scheme, we could pull Dems left? Don't ask me questions like this. There is no left. The left project in this country is done. It is represented as it stands in a marsh like the ruins of a Roman settlement. There are a few posters, a few content creators maybe, but it's done. Maybe in the future something is revived. Nothing ever really ends. But like, understand what moment you're living in here, okay? So what do? Live through it? It's a long winter. The result of all of Kamala's placating. I don't know why we lost. We spent $50 billion and the last like 2 months of our campaign, like campaigning with Liz Cheney. Why didn't that convince more registered Republicans to vote Democrat? This sounds like you're giving up. That's because you're dumb. No, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be mean. Understand what moment you're in, okay? Rosa Luxemburg was shot and dumped in a river because the people she worked with didn't understand what moment she lives in. I'm not saying give up. I'm saying understand what you're capable of doing and then do the best within those circumstances, okay? That's not giving up, okay? There are lots of people who will sell you the moon, a bridge, and a revolution, but based on like nothing. How many leftist content creators have been telling you for years now, years and years now, the time for revolution is nigh. Americans are more discontented than ever with the status quo. Now, finally, America will rise up and move to the left. What happened? That's because I don't bullshit you. Well, at the very least, when I get things wrong, I don't own up to it in like an ideological basis. I own up to it in a personal basis, right? You know, don't blame me for the fact that like maybe you've been oversaturated with. I know that the puppy girls on Twitter are telling you that like America needs a revolution now and the ruling class will finally feel the might of the. I know, I get it. We're not there yet. I'm sorry. We're not even close to being there yet. We're not even remotely close to being there yet. We're so far away from being there. Hey, look, Vosh is being patronizing again. Wow, Lily Krem, you learned how to type something that didn't end in a question mark. Yeah, I am being a little bit patronizing because this sentiment is going to keep cropping up. I'm not looking to get you shot and dumped in a river like Rosa Luxemburg. I'm not out here lying to you. I'm not like the people who during the George Floyd protests were like, you know, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Chaz, you know? The American empire is on the cusp of being defeated. The American empire is going to fall any minute now. This is just the beginning. Pockets of civil resistance will erupt all over the United States. I'm not here to sell you the moon. I'm here to tell you what we can do. Right now, I'm really sorry, you don't have your hands in the levers of power. The right wing does. There are the entire cumulative social power of everyone left of center in the United States right now is trumped by 5 to 10 neo-Nazis who are about to be in Trump's cabinet. Like, the power differential is massive. Absolutely massive. So what we need to be concerned with right now is being smart, being calm, being prepared, and working with liberals. Because it's just a numbers thing, man. What happened to all the communists back in like the early 1930s who, you know, what happened to the, KDP? What happened to them? They died. A lot of the SPD got to survive because they were moderate enough that they kept quiet. I don't think we're dealing with a situation that severe, but I'm telling you that drawing lines in the sand with liberals right now is not going to, it's not going to procure good results, okay? You need to understand what time you're working in. The SPD, are you stupid? Seriously, the SPD? Did I mix up the SDP and the SPD again? If you make fun of me for that, you're being ableist. And you're doing a problematic. Yes, you did, but I know what you meant. There we go. See, that's charitability. The SPD in Germany didn't survive because of being moderate, but got into hiding because the SPD got first. That's kind of what I'm saying. I'm not saying you need to be ideologically moderate. I'm saying you need to understand that there's absolutely nothing to gain right now from separating yourself from a liberal survival project. There is like 150 million people in this country who day by day are going to wake up grimacing at whatever news comes from the Trump administration. If you separate yourself from them, you are fighting a lonely fight and you are not doing yourself many favors. Now, is there a possibility that sometime in the future, perhaps even during this Trump administration, a like meaningful, popular, leftist alternative to the Democrats arises? I mean, sure, I can't predict the future. I think we're a while from that, but I think it's possible. I think that we should keep our ear to the ground and be aware of what possibilities may lie in the future. I'm not saying you should go underground forever. I'm saying that you should be careful and bide your time. Does anyone think that's inappropriate rhetoric? I know that a lot of people treat revolution with a kind of like suicidal idealism. They see it the same way the Christians see the rapture, where they're like, any day now I'll finally be freed from this mortal toil and I'll be able to die with a Kalashnikov in hand or something like that. And I'm not selling that to you. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to sell you bullshit like that. I'm not any of these ass Republicans. Not Hassan included, obviously. He's not a Republican, I think. We can't know for sure who he voted for. I'm kidding. Who are here to tell you, like, yeah, all your problems are going to be solved when you vote Trump. Trust me, this is like the glorious Bigley Make America Great Again revival moment, Day of the Rope, whatever that you've been looking for. I'm not... yeah, you want a popular front. You want a popular front. I'm just encouraging you to not, like... If you talk to a liberal... And the liberal is like, man, I miss Barack Obama. Just don't bite their head off about Barack Obama being a stooge to the same like institutions that led to Kamala Harris's defeat, because he was unable to, like, meaningfully act in the